Hello, hello, hello. Ugh, I should sit up. Mm. What? Get over here. Okay. Get this going on Twitch. Hey guys, it's Tarak. Um, I'm doing a. Today I'm going to do a video going over the. This is spoilers too. I'll be putting it in the thing. I put it in the text. Hopefully that worked. Uh, Today I'm going to be going over the flashback of the that we recently got in One Piece. I planned on doing it for last week, but I knew they were going to have. I figured they were going to have this one more, and hopefully this is the end. Only in that I really and dearly want to get back to see what's happening with the Straw Hats now. We haven't seen them since. Let me look here. I got the publishing date right here. October 15th. Well, I did the chapter a few days earlier. Since October, we have not seen the Straw Hats in the story. We've been doing this flashback. 15, 29, 30. Yeah. Wow, that feels weird to not. This is weird to me because I'm I mentioned in another video. This is my first time reading a flashback arc as it's coming out. So, oh, Stella, hello. One moment, I gotta do something with this cat. Stella, what are you gonna do? You gonna come over here? Wait a minute. So, Jesus Christ. So as I mentioned in a video, my last was it the last one? Is it chapter 101 and 1100? This is the first time I'm reading a chapter flashback in real time. So when I first cut off the One Piece, I did catch up before Odin's flashback, uh, but I missed. I was not keeping up on the chapters as they were coming out weekly, as I have been the last year and a half now that I've been doing my reviews. I was at school and working at the time, and I would just catch up on them whenever I thought about it. And it wasn't until just about 2 years ago, and I still wasn't doing. I decided, hey, I want to see what's going on with One Piece, and I think that's when Onigashima's battles were in full swing. That I finally caught up, and let's see, that would have been, yeah. Actually, it was further back. Some point, yeah, I think it was 2 years ago roughly. I started trying to stay up to date with One Piece as the Onigashima stuff was going on, and so Odin's flashback was far over by then. I'm not even sure what chapter it was. I remember the episode numbers it was because I've been watching the Wano episode most catching up on those this year, and So going into a flashback like this, and because I know Odin's was pretty long too, going into a multi-chapter flashback like this was quite the roller coaster of emotions and events. And so this is a very interesting thing I want to try to articulate in this video about all the stuff we saw, all the things that happened. It's just so much. And the thing too about it, my favorite thing is I noticed how Oda, excuse me. I like how Oda, while doing a backstory focusing on a specific character, gave us so much other stuff to mull over as we followed Kuma's story. And then we saw him right from his birth. You know what's funny too? I just realized too. It's funny to watch something like that in a manga. This reminds me a little bit of playing Assassin's Creed. For anyone who's played it, who know, Ezio, one of the main assassin that really most people would think of when they think about Assassin's Creed. He's the most popular one. You start his journey the way we start Kuma's journey, right from his birth. We get to see his parents as they literally. I don't even know if they would do this anymore in a video game. They literally show his mother still in labor right as she pushes him out. And then Giovanni, I forget his mother's first name, forgive me. She's such a great character herself, but I can't think of her name right now. But Giovanni, who is his father, I think his name's easy to remember because I always think of Giovanni, the villain from Pokemon. Giovanni comes in and then they're there and he names them. And they're together, and they did the similar thing here with Kuma, where they show his parents together. I don't even think we got names for Kuma's parents, unfortunately, but they're together, and we started that journey from there and came all the way up to just a little bit before the start of the story. So what was that now? That I gotta go pull up a timeline. I had a timeline here of the other stuff, but for some reason I didn't do that one. Hold on. I'll be doing a lot of this today. See, so they got him there. See, how many years ago was it? 47 years ago. Okay. So we start 47 years ago, and we end the last chapter that just came out. I think someone said, I thought it was exactly when Luffy was leaving, but Tekken 101, I always watch his reviews first after I do my own review. He said it was like, that's supposed to be like 6 months before Luffy actually left. So still 45 plus years ago, we moved across a timeline of 45 years. Wait a minute. Wait, let me check something. Stella, hello. Oh, you got a key in there. Don't want that. Come on, Stella. Stella. Okay. Come in here. Come on. Might be getting a video phone call. Yeah, we jumped across 45 years. In the span of 6.5, 6.5 chapters of flashback. Right, 95 is the chapter started at 95, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1. Yeah. Oh my God, there was so much happening too. I got them all right here too. And there's so much stuff I missed too. I don't know if I said this yet in a video. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be all over the place with this. I don't know if I realized this before, but like, I didn't realize that Kuma's dad was shot. First of all, in the was that the first one? 1095. Here we go. Yeah, I didn't realize Kuma's dad was shot there, killed right then and there. I'm trying to remember what I assumed happened, but I didn't find out till I watched another review afterwards. Someone else said, "Oh, he got shot." I'm like, "Oh my God, wait, what? I didn't catch that. How did I miss that one?" There was a bunch of stuff I missed in here, and I was rereading the I think I'm gonna have to do more videos like this almost after each chapter or something like this. I'm gonna have to come through like certain there's like certain things in the translations when you get the official ones that make some of the dialogue different. So I was just reading the recent one and there were some differences there that sounded different from how the uh it is when you read the unofficial ones. Also, I like to just point out they made this big deal about, and in this one chapter, I noticed the first. I just realized here, I gotta slow down. It's funny here that these guys are. We got this one slave owner here. They saw celestial dragon talking and having Kuma carry stuff around. I just realized because the guy's gloating about how, oh look, I got a buccaneer slave. They shoot his dad, who's also a buccaneer, and I'm just thinking, dude, you're talking about how rare this bucket slave is that you have, and you just shoot him like that? Like, now you only got one left. Like, was he planning on, there's something there funny. This is a dreadful thought in its own way, but like, do the celestial dragons try to, would they allow, oh yeah, this probably happen in real life in some capacity. Would they allow the slaves to mate? Let's just say the way they would probably think of it. We know what and procreate so they can make more slaves that way, or is their main method of slavery just going for them? Anyways, is it to go out and capture more slaves from other places, kind of like at God Valley? They went to God Valley, for example, they said to go there to capture, to have a game, to do that sport. But I also wonder if they would have taken some of those people that they would think, oh, that person looks very strong, of course, and then of course you could have him with Ginny later. Oh, look at that pretty woman. I'm going to take her as a slave instead of having her part of the game. I can certainly see that happening. Also, I bet that could happen anytime these guys go out and make the rounds elsewhere. Like we saw the one who's I think the one who came to the Goa Kingdom when Great Terminal was burnt. Isn't that why they burnt Great Terminal? Because they were worried that guy was going to look down upon, oh, well, you got those other people there. Anyways, yeah, we just covered so much. And the God Valley one was the one I saw the most hype over, the God Valley chapter, which is that starts at the end of 95, right? Yeah. It starts right in 95. And then in 96 we get all this stuff that helps flesh out a little bit more of what we wanted from there. Because we only learned about God Valley. How many chapters ago would that have been? I don't remember the episode number more or less. It had to be like 150 chapters ago or so. And Son Goku talked to those other officers about about it. Because he wanted to explain more about why Big Mom and Kaido were joining together. So we got some information out of that. But gosh, did we not get much at all either? And it's just, I like how Oda did this, because as I said earlier, it's funny how a little bit ago in my video, it's funny too how he you'll think, oh, this flashback's about Kuma. I didn't think it was going to be this many chapters either. 6.5 chapters about, and the last thing I expected too was to see the God Valley in this flashback. And so Oda, I really like how he, I guess you could call it subverting expectations in a way. It's, because you'd think, oh, we're going to see how Kuma lived in the Sorbet Kingdom. And we see a lot of that, but that comes later. We only see Sorbet Kingdom a little bit in 95, and then we don't come back to it until the end of 96, after... It's been some years later. Wait, how many years later is that? I wonder, was that any difference in years, or was it the same year Kuma was a slave? Anyways, this was great because we saw St. Garland, and we saw Garp, and Roger and Rayleigh and so many other people when they were younger. We got a treasure trove of some of the most important characters in the story, all at just one area 38 years ago. And then we still get almost nothing about it. All we see is that what we just the biggest thing we found out about that obviously is that the pirates came there because Ginny of all people, like, not, and it's not to put her down, but she's a little kid and she transmits, hey, the celestial dragons are here with your devil fruits, come and get them. And they all fucking Roger and Rox and they say other crews, they don't give names, all these other crews come in because Ginny said, hey, we're here. The fucking Marines must have been really like, actually one of them does say that. Who says that? Yeah, Garland here says, pathetic. What was the point of this blockade if these pirates are going to get in? The biggest thing I noticed the flaw here is that the celestial dragons are out on their little excursion, let's just call it, and they have all these Marines to protect them, but they never thought about how did they not think, like, the thing that bothers me too is like, well, no one's going to come help, but how did they not think about, like, blocking all communications going out? Wow, just think about that. What if this happens? See, they got Dent and Mushies here. Dent and Mushies, and they can, well, I don't know if they don't confirm, like, if it's always been this way, but when we saw Marineford, we saw that they can televise, events happening with Dent and Mushies to other places. The fact that they didn't block communications here, what if they had Denda and Mushies at one of these events? What if people started showing this to the world? Hey, this is fucked up. We're on an island here. Sure, we're not part of the world government, but we're a civilization. We got towns, a government, and a decent economy, maybe a booming economy. And now they're just going to come over here and ransack us and turn us into a game, show what's going on to the world at large, and this will fuck things up for the world government. I'm surprised they didn't. So what I'm getting at is I'm surprised they didn't block communications there, making it so easy for Ginny, our heroine Ginny, saying, "Hey, get over here." And then you got Rox and Roger and everyone else coming, and you got one of the biggest cover-ups in recent world history of the One Piece world going on because of a little girl, and you didn't block communications. Oh my God. Someone must have got fired for that. How did they find out? They must have questioned some pirates. Oh, we heard a message that you guys were having your contest here. John, did you not cut communications? I didn't think anyone would do it. Who has the Denda and Mushies? Who's keeping track of them? Who is securing those Denda and Mushies she got? Where does she show that there? She's got, let's see, thieving, tapping, and transmissions. 2 weeks ago, I planned, yeah, she's holding Denda. She's got 3 of them there. She's holding one to her ear like a receiver. She's got 2 others, right, transmitting. Oh, yeah, she's got that one there, yeah. Fucking hell. That's the biggest blunder here of all, that a girl gets a message out, and then I wonder how many celestial dragons, like, died in this incident, you know? It had to be some kind of casualty. Garland was there with the other knights, but, like, other pirate crews were apparently showing up. Let me see here. They show 4 ships, no, 5. Rox and 4 other ships they show arrive there, arriving to the island. And I don't know how many Marines were there, but there had to be some casualties on Celestial Dragon's side. And boy, that had to be a bad day for Kong. Good thing he had Garp there. Garp and Garland being there, probably the only thing that saved his career. I'm surprised they didn't sack him still, though, given what happened there. And the big thing I want to talk about on that part for a moment is I did not realize that Gloriosa was there until I watched other reviewers. Like, did I miss something when I was reading One Piece? I never thought, oh, No, I'm stupid. She did say she left out to sea when she was young. But there's a question. Who did Gloriosa, wait a minute, how old is she? Is she supposed to be Boa's Hancock's grandmother? She goes out to sea because she was in love with somebody. Was that somebody she was infatuated with? Was that somebody on the Rocks crew, I wonder? Uh, oh yeah, you can see that her and the original Stussy didn't get along either. Oh, what's with that too? Why does Oda always draw most old ladies, with the exception of like Big Mom for obvious reasons? Why does he always draw them when they get older as these short, shriveled, almost look of them former selves? Who was that third one? There was Gloriosa, Stussy, and the one on Doflamingo's crew. She looked like, I think she was shorter than she used to be. Let me look at that a second. Gloriosa One Piece. Let's see. Did they say anything about her being Hancock's mommy? Rouge. What about? Let's see. March Province. Kuja. Wasn't her age is supposed to be? They got her age there. They don't say her age. She has a birthday, but no age. Okay. No, so I'm just wondering. Yeah, I wonder who was on that crew that she would have been interested if she was interested in that someone on that crew. So that's probably someone who was a pirate. Maybe they visited her island when she was young, and she went back to sea with them, abandoning her. Oh, there's something too. Did she abandon her duties? Did she leave in the way Odin did? That's funny. Think about that. You got Wano, and then you got Amazon Lily. Two islands that are isolated from each other in their own way. One in the calm belt, one with walls. And their leader leaves to go out to sea. One for adventure and one for love. I wonder if I wonder who took over if Gloriosa left while she was on the throne. Um, and I noticed too when I look at Big Mom here, she looks too much like Bonnie the way Oda drawed her when she's here at God Valley. Um, but yeah, seeing all this stuff happen there, and then it's just like so amazing. Like I fucking wanted more out of this. I really was expecting a little bit more than this. I didn't think we'd get everything because Kuma's probably not gonna stay there in the middle of the fight. But the way they just ended it so quickly still kind of disappointed me, especially because we didn't get to see exactly what Rox looks like up close. We still just got that silhouette version of him from way back. He talks in here a few times, but that's it. And then we also, it's funny how Saturn once again just shows up, and he right there where Big Mom was there a moment ago, and it's just like, okay, where'd Big Mom just go? Is she not gonna fight this guy? I wanted to see. Oh, there's something too. Everyone talks about Garp and Roger finishing off Rocks, but one of the Gorosei was there, and we know he can fight now. I wonder if he took part in this battle at all to defend his fellow celestial dragons from harm. All we see of him, of course, is that he confronts Kuma because he doesn't want him to escape. There's something there too. Hopefully we're going to get a little more if we go back to the present to why Saturn is so obsessed with keeping Kuma tethered. So they're searching for his father. His father's been in hiding for a while successfully, but once Kuma's born, they got lucky or something, and they find him, bring him back into slavery, or back. We don't know if maybe his father doesn't look like someone who's been enslaved, but maybe he had family members beforehand. But So then the first thing right after Big Mom tries to stop Kuma from eating the fruit, but he succeeds. Then when Saturn just shows up, he must have been hell bent on making sure Kuma didn't escape. It's quite interesting there. But and we don't even know how they're interrupted. So Roger, somebody must have shown up right there because Saturn had him dead to rights. They're like 6 feet apart. We already know by this point because this is a chapter after we've seen a little bit of his abilities. But we don't know. All we see is him and Ivankov and Ginny at the Sorbet Kingdom. So it's like, what happened? I'm trying to think what flashback Oda will use next, because I wasn't expecting it with this. Hold on a second. Hello? Mm-hmm. Come on. Let's see. Where was I? Yeah, Kuma. So we get a flashback about Kuma, and then we get the God. Oda finds a clever way to insert him into God Valley of all things. you know, so I was like thinking that we wouldn't get a God Valley flashback of any kind until Blackbeard became prominent in the story more directly than he has been at ever. But throwing Kuma in there as a slave was just really fucking clever. And it's just like, so now I'm trying to ponder. That'd be a good video. Like, who else we got? We were Stusty's still alive. What if we show Stusty? If Stusty shows up again, she could be a way for us to have an avenue back into that event. And Gloriosa and Stusty. Wait, am I missing anyone else? Who else is there? Ivankov. So we got Ivankov, Gloriosa, and Stussy. Stussy, I think, would be the most likely at this point to be someone we can have as an avenue to go see that flashback from her perspective, because she might be coming to the island now. That's the thing too. I still don't know what's going on with that. We saw her and Marco like 30 chapters ago at his island, Whitebeard's island, that is. Excuse me. And she talked about, I'll prove to you that Weevil is Whitebeard's son. Let's go talk to Vegapunk. Well, maybe they'll just call him. Does she have his phone number? She could be a great avenue there, because we can have her. She could come into the story somehow. Come there, meet Vegapunk later, if we get out of here alive, so to speak, and well, literally, and somehow that will just bring into the God Valley. I can't. I'm not a good story theorist like that. So, but yeah, it would just be like I thought. Like I said, I thought Blackbeard would be the one to wait where Oda would wait for his confrontation with Luffy, and we get more information. And I still think that would be like what will he'll do. Like we'll get everything that Oda wants to show us. And now I'm just like thinking, oh, who else can tell us a little bit more this part and this end? Because we just see what we got here was something we didn't expect either. We knew that Kaido ate his dragon fruit here, but now we see it was a prize. So and then we get that little stuff. We got there's a prize there, and then Kuma's fruit's there. So what can Stussy provide us? She looks like she's with Whitebeard, so we can probably get more about what Whitebeard did there from her point of view if she has a thing, because she might follow him. And there's the hint that he fought with Whitebeard clashed with St. Garland at this place, so she might see that fight, and we can learn how that went down. Then we can see maybe Gloriosa can show us what went down too, because she was there where she's there with her snake. Yeah, she's next to Whitebeard, and she's just right next to Whitebeard while Stussy's sitting on his shoulder. I'm starting to think that Stussy, more and more, Stussy might just been more of like a stalker with Whitebeard, and he didn't really care for her, but he just couldn't get rid of her. She looked like she's literally just going around with him. So there's questions there too, like does she leave after this, and because he didn't want to be with her, then when they broke up, like he just kicked her, like finally said, not kicked her away, in a sense, like please, say stop following me, I'm not interested. Something tells me there's something going on there she's lying about. Like I'm still so convinced that she just likes him more than he likes her. Maybe he liked Gloriosa. Maybe Gloriosa was the way this is looking here. I'm thinking Gloriosa was interested in Whitebeard, and that's who she followed off the island. It wouldn't be Kaido, I think. He's too young. He joined them on Full. There's Shiki. Maybe she was interested in Shiki. That's all we know. So Shiki, Rocks, and Whitebeard. There's some others there too, but I don't think she'd be interested in. I don't know. Let's see. And when they say this is the final fight, there's very cryptic stuff in here to go over later on. I wonder too why Roger decided to come here. Did he have a rivalry with Rocks and he wanted to confront him here because they couldn't meet him anywhere else? So, yeah, there's just a lot there to tangent over. Also, I like this bit here. This Ivankov calls Kuma's hand, the pawpaw fruit, the hands of liberation. I really like how they're having like these other characters who are liberating. So Luffy's like the warrior of liberation. Meanwhile, technically speaking, his father is also like that, leading the revolutionary army. They're leading liberating other places too. It's funny to me too. Luffy and Dragon. I was thinking about this with Luffy especially earlier, but Dragon can be portrayed this way. I was rewatching the Rocks flashbacks on the anime last night, and Sengoku talked about how there have been many tales of heroism by Garp. The other people were like, oh, this must have been the first time. No, like Sengoku was kind of trying to say, no, he had some other stuff that he was known for. This was like the big one, the Navy knew him for. Actually, it's funny because there are other Navy men that came there. Garp obviously had his own crew, and there were people protecting the Celestial Dragons. I'm surprised none of those officers present when Sengoku talked about it didn't already know a little bit about the God Valley, given that other people would want to talk about it a little bit, even if they were told to shut their trap so that they could cover up the humiliation of having all these pirates swarm a place and harming Celestial Dragons. But where was I going with that other thing? Oh, I just realized if Luffy and Dragon weren't on the wrong side of the law, especially Luffy could be, because Dragon would probably get in trouble. Just going against the government's always going to get you flagged as a criminal, and he's so direct about it that it's no doubt he's going to be not seen as a hero. But Luffy especially. Luffy talked about once, was it just recently too, and some other places, like he always says, "I'm not a hero," but if the shoe was on the other foot with Luffy, with him being him as a Navy officer or even some kind of adventurer who maybe like a bounty hunter, you could even say, who sometimes worked with the government or even worked for the government, he would be seen as a hero. He has liberated himself so many islands from oppression and potential oppression now in the last 2.5 years of his voyages. Obviously, there's a gap there, but he helps little islands in the east. He saved Usopp's place. He saved Nami's place. He saved the island where Morgan is. What am I missing there? Saved the Baratier from being commandeered. He liberates there. And then the big stuff. He goes to Alabasta and Drum Island, Alabasta. Now and Dressrosa and what am I missing? Wano. He's gone to this is like over half a dozen places, big and small, that he's gone and helped people out. But because he can first of all, he calls himself a pirate, and second, now that he's fought against the Navy directly, both at Marineford and Enies Lobby, he's an enemy of the state. So his tales of heroism aren't going to ever be publicly known at this point, because everyone just says, "Oh, look at the paper. There's Straw Hat Luffy, that pirate. he destroyed Enies Lobby. He punched a Celestial Dragon at Sabaody. He helped fight the Navy at Marineford." So everyone's all these other negative people and people afraid of pirates in general. Like those types we saw bad mouthing Roger when Ace was little. They're always going to be just like, "Oh, that's just some fucking pirate." They're not going to know these good things about Luffy. So it's funny, though. Like, if Luffy really was on the other side of the story, he probably would... I don't know if he... obviously, we don't know if he would have gone to fight Crocodile and ended up and gone to... he probably never would have gone to Wano. Wano would have probably stayed the way it is for a while if he hadn't... any other way around. Until, like, Kaido croaked or something. The Marines got their act together and sent all 3 admirals they would have at the time. But Luffy probably would have been the hero of the Navy too. It's funny though. I think that Kobe, though, being the hero now, being the new up and coming hero, he's the hero the Navy needs. I personally would never want to be in his kind of shoes, to be a person who wants to lead an organization like that. I wouldn't want to be part of that. I'd be kind of like Garp. I'd stay as a smaller officer somewhere and do my own thing. Personally, I don't even like those kind of large organizations because of the potential for corruption and whatnot that can happen in such a place. But I think Kobe is going to be the person they'll need because he's so humble and he's so he also has like this certain, I guess, calmness where he's really I don't know, how was I thinking about this earlier? He's just like, my point is I'm contrasting him with Luffy, so that if Luffy had been in the Navy alongside Kobe, he'd be the very gung-ho one causing more problems than helping sometimes, and kind of like Garp is. And then Kobe would be like, "Oh, that fucking doing," he'd have a headache all the time. So Luffy not being in the Navy, I think is kind of a good thing because it would cause so many more problems. And Kobe being in there and kind of just moving up the ranks slowly and doing things when he needs to is going to become the kind of person that they need, a steady hand, I guess I'm trying to say. Especially as things are probably, the world government's probably going to lose its functionality as it is if Dragon and Luffy and everyone, when things come to a head at the end of this whole story. I think Luffy's going to just be Kobe's going to be the person they need. And probably like 10 or 20 years time, he gets to be like Fleet Admiral or whatever. Boy, I was all over the place with that. So, yeah. I also, back to Kuma and this flashback, going over this stuff we see from 1097 especially, it just, this as I was rereading this, I realized how this is probably one of the most heartbreaking parts of the story, because Kuma spends has so many years of peace between when he escaped God Valley and he's back in the South Blue, uh, uh, living a peaceful life as a priest with Ginny. That the fact that he spent so many years like that and then had this shit happen later really does make that bit makes this more heartbreaking to me, because he never expected to have anything this life he ended up having by first later on joining. When did he join? When he joins the Revolutionary Army. I kind of think that if his island had stayed, if he had an island that was at more peace without this corrupt king, I bet Kuma would have just stayed a priest the rest of his life. He really had a lot of things change for him. First, when did this happen again? So this was Kuma at 22. That's right, 22 years ago. That's right. So he's 22 years ago, and Kuma is 25. Right. So that's 22 years ago. That's when things really changed for him, I guess. I'm just trying to imagine Kuma now. If he had stayed there on the island, I bet him and Ginny would have got married eventually and had a little kid of their own. Now the question would be, I wonder if Bonnie is a name that Ginny gave to her. I wonder if they would have had a daughter, if it would have been they would have named it Bonnie. I'm sure she would have never got that devil fruit. That's something that jumped to a minute. That's so interesting how 14 years ago, right? That's so interesting how Ginny got the fruit. I mean Bonnie. I keep mixing the names up. Bonnie's stuck in a hot place. This has happened about... Wait, when did that happen again? Let's see. Let's skip ahead here. Let's see. Here we go. After they kicked out that guy again. Wait, is she 7 maybe? Anyways, Bonnie's been living in the church her whole life, because when she's 3 or 4 or so, he finds she's got the same condition her mother had. And the fruit just seems to appear there unless she eats it. So everyone was pointing out, like, maybe the person died and the fruit reincarnated there, or she willed it. The other one, that's the really interesting one that I am willing to bet is kind of true, is how desire and how Oda also from a story perspective, Oda gives the fruit. The person who has the fruit fits with them. A great example of this is like Doflamingo. He is a mastermind guy who likes to work behind the scenes and control things. So he gets a fruit that's strings, and he's like a little, where's my other hand? He's a little puppeteer guy, and he's very manipulative, and he uses that to his advantage. He like, what was that? He killed Baby Five's boyfriend, as someone she was with or lover. And it's like he's done this to her many times, and he just fucks with her purposely because he can. So Bonnie, obviously she wants to grow up so she can go out. And she can't go out. She's not like Luffy, who found the devil fruit that Shanks had sitting in a bar, the Nika fruit. She's not like, she doesn't end up on an island like Ace and he eats the fruit because he's starving. And who else? The devil fruits, and that's interesting too, the devil fruits that multiple Wano allies we met, like Kinemon, the other Ninjutsu girl, and Raiju, they all get these devil fruits that fit them well. What did Kinemons do actually? I forget. So it's very interesting how they go on to have fruits that grow there, especially in an isolated place like that too. So that Wano and then what happened with Bonnie are probably some of the most interesting, because Bonnie's trapped in a church, albeit she is getting stuff brought to her food that she can eat because she's, Kuma has friends, and he's buying food from the market every day, and where was I going with that? So she could have got the fruit there that way. If someone didn't notice, a devil fruit was hiding among some other produce they brought to her. But then Wano was very interesting because nothing is getting imported into there except the smiles. And Kinemon and some other people still ended up with devil fruits. Because I don't think Kinemon ever left Wano Beach until he had to with Momonosuke, right? When they had to flee. Because Momonosuke's mother had a devil fruit, but I think Odin met her outside of Wano. I have to look up how that happened again, because she's such an interesting character. So anyways, yeah, where am I going with this tangent? The way that people like Bonnie, like, I want this devil fruit. I want to grow up. She doesn't strictly think about devil fruit. She wants to grow up fast so she can go out with her father. She doesn't understand she was sick at the time, and that she think, okay, I wish so hard I could grow up right now. And some point, something in here, the devil fruit, like, hears her call. It's almost like they can hear voices, and they just appear where they need to. And other times it's like they're just waiting to go to the person. Like the Luffy's fruit, like it happens to be in the possession of Who's Who. And then Shanks gets it, and then he happens to bring it to the right place, and this person eats it. I'm trying to think of a person who might have ate a devil fruit that really doesn't fit their personality, and I can't think of a really bad way right now of one. Kaido's is just a dragon. So like when you get zone ones, it's interesting. They're just they get the zone. There's definitely Lucci's fits him well. Chopper's was kind of an accident. That's kind of something he learned to be a doctor. But anyways, yeah, I just realized Aces fits him well because he's such a hot-blooded kid that him getting a fire fruit works perfectly. Smoker's is funny because does he smoke because he has the fruit, or did he already smoke beforehand? And Kuma's is obviously interesting because he just wanted to escape and go back home, and then he happens to eat the right fruit. Like, what if he had eaten the dragon fruit instead, and then Kaido ate the pawpaw fruit. What a change that would have been. Kaido would have still been immensely powerful, but like, would he want to use that fruit? He likes his combat with his big kanabo, and he'd have to wear gloves all the time while fighting them wearing that. But then he could just he might have used it. I'm just thinking he could just he could be fighting like Luffy and Kid and Law and Zoro, and who was there too, and then he could just feel like you pissing me off and just push him to the other side of Wano temporarily while I'm fighting, and be like, I'm fighting Straw Hat. Get out of here, kid. Boom. Pop to the other end of the Wano. He could just do that so they don't he can find him again, but he doesn't want them interfering in his fight. But it's just very interesting how certain people get fruits like this. And I do think too there's possibility that Bonnie's fruit is awakened. I think someone else said this already. I'm sure I didn't come up. I'm trying not to take credit for something I think I heard somewhere else. I think I was watching Joy Boy Theories and somebody asked about that to him in a stream. I think Bonnie's fruit could be awakened now. That because the awakenings usually allow the users to change things around them. So Luffy and Doflamingo can make strings out of stuff around him. Luffy could make the environment into the rubbery stuff and bend it to his will in that way. And now Bonnie, we know initially can just age herself, but now we saw when she used it against the Marines coming after her at Sabaody, and then here at Egghead, she can just will people around her to be children or old as she pleases. Although Law's fruit already has abilities like that, so it's possible. Actually, you know what? I would have to renege that, retract that statement. I bet her ability isn't fully awakened yet. I bet when she does awaken it, she could turn the entire environment around her age. She could like suck resources out of the ground, make a tree shrivel up, or stuff like that. Um, hmm. Yeah, it's hard to say I guess in that context because until Oda wants to like lay down rules for her fruit to figure out exactly what her if that's awakened yet. Uh, so where was I? Oh, let's talk about this asshole king for a moment. I think also I'll have to cut this video short and do like a separate one another time. I thought I'd get through all the flashback in this time, but I found so many tangents. This king they have here, what's his name? Uh, the um, wait, where's his name? I can't find his name now. But this guy was a real character. I wonder how many other kind of kings have tried to get away with this kind of crap, where they just start completely sectioning off their island, doing some modern, some one piece gerrymandering type bullshit, but not for political reasons. That's for like people who want to like make sure they can get in there, a politician getting into the office. But he changes the stuff around so that he can uh, so that he doesn't have to worry about he can stay in. How did that work? He wants to stay in reverie, being able to attend reverie. Is that what it was? Or at least wants to stay in the world government. I don't think this nation was big enough to attend reverie. What? But he gets so he cuts off the island into half, saying that other place is lawless. It's not officially in my borders, even though it's the same island. And then he starts mistreating citizens. How did he do that? He starts, oh yeah, we can do what we want with the people from the south. So people there are, I don't know if those are soldiers or just other thugs in the city here, but they're harming citizens that live in his part of the island. So he starts fighting back. And then he ends up, it's funny because he's got this amazing devil fruit, but he obviously didn't know much about, not much. He didn't have a combat experience at this point, which is crazy to think how well he kicked the Straw Hats' ass later on, even though they were tired. But he gets thrown in jail, him and Ginny and their friends. And when did this happen again? 22 years ago. And it's later on. So when he joins up with Dragon, he must really like learn how to fight properly. I'm sure Dragon gave him a lot of lessons on how to deal with people. And then he spends like the next 8 years or more gaining more and more practical experience. Yeah, it's like 10 years almost. He spends almost 10 years with them by the time, yeah, when Ginny is, yeah. So Kuma spent 10 years with Dragon, with the revolutionaries, huh? Yeah, and it's also funny to always watch Kuma with his glasses off. Also, there's a woman, that must have been Bello Betty there at the time, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm going to have to cut this video short. I'll do this another time.